I'm Matt Bond. That's me. If you can't see at the back, like, look, that's me. And I'm interested in games. I'm interested in learning and education, and I'm interested in computers. So I now get to find out how long 20 seconds is and how long I'm going to have to like make stuff up on each. Yes. I've always been puzzled. How can you merge games and learning? And a lot of people are looking for the answer to this. How can you make a learning game or an education game? How can you make it fun? How can you make it also beneficial to everyone else? And there's not really a very clear solution, it seems. Everything that's out there is kind of mediocre. Like, these games are all for very young children, and they're all very boring even for very young children most of the time. Okay, some games for young children are actually kind of fun, but this is... I don't want to do maths with balloons. I want to either play with balloons or do maths. Both are fun. What this is, one of the big problems is that this is trying to apply what people think is boring, learning, and what people think is fun, games. And no one wants to eat chocolate-coated broccoli, do they? No one. So the second problem is that there's a really big budget problem. No one wants to pay education, learning game companies money, you know, just make it, like, you can have here 10,000 euros, make a AAA learning game. Or it's, you know, these games are in competition with the rest of the game market. They've got to be fun compared to Call of Duty. The third and final problem is that these games are ridiculously simple most of the time. No one has ever said, I wish Minecraft only had dirt blocks, I think. It took a while to make this screen. I stole it from the internet. Someone else has gone and made one with only dirt. But something else I noticed is that actually there are a lot of games that are learning games out there. There is some hope. In fact, I'd say there's a multi-million-dollar business for learning games already. And some of it's in Finland, and this slide's, you know, it's longer than it needs to be. So the first game, in City Skylines, you can build your own city. And whilst I was building my city, I had some problems. My cars kept getting in the way of each other. So I learned about this Michigan right turn from the internet, and then I started building these everywhere. You never need to turn left in this, or right, depending on if you're America. In Gran Turismo, I went and I was driving, but I wasn't quite going fast enough. So I went and I looked through the menus and I Googled on the internet, and I changed my gear ratios, and then I did some really weird things that made my car go faster. And it turns out they're real, so now I can fix your car if you want. Anyone? This game's kind of, sort of not very well known, Capitalism. In here I learned that if you want to win in business, you have to buy everyone else first. You need a lot of money too, like you get billions of millions of euros in this. And yeah. Team Fortress. What can you learn in Team Fortress? You can learn how to be friends with people, and more importantly, how to cooperate. There's a lot of how to build a team and how to work as a team, supporting each other. And that's very relevant from day to day. These slides are slightly too long. Yes, but they're not too long. Infini Factory. In this game, you make, these cubes are coming through here. It's not the most well-known game, and you have to make them process into different cubes. This is a calculator, it can count to 64. I made this from relays. I had to read about the telephone network to make this, but that was fun. And I had to learn how to do that. Ooh, this is a new SimCity. But in SimCity, you have to learn how to make ethical choices. Do you want to have a crime-ridden neighborhood? Well, maybe it's going to make you a huge amount of money if you don't have a police station. So you have to make an ethical decision. There are only Sims in this, so who needs a police station, especially near the university? In Minecraft, I learned how to do architecture. I mean, come on, look at this. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's a really tall tower. And inside I learned that, okay, this is not my best production. You have to build areas so that you can move through them freely, as well as make them look beautiful. Microsoft Flight Simulator, you can loop a Boeing 747. It was a question I really wanted to answer. They loop just fine. They crash afterwards, but it's fine. Never ever get on a plane with me. as long as I'm a pilot, yeah. Civilization. I didn't learn much in Civilization because I was constantly playing the game. But every time I played as a new faction, I went and I started reading about it. So I know about Babylon, and I know about England, and Finland isn't in, but Sami culture is in Civilization, so I learned a bit there. Not a very well-known game, From the Depths. Quite a new game as well, but check this out, it's amazing. I learned how to build submarines in here, and I learned that helicopters need 2 rotors, otherwise they just kind of... the whole thing keeps going round and round and round. And so, what I say is that already games are learning. You can't have fun in a game if you're not learning how to play it. Everyone knows that you have to have a good progression curve, and that's learning. So when you play a game, you're learning how to play the game. There's only maybe one problem, which is the topic. And that's a really good in-joke. If anyone gets it, then, like, well done. That's a topic, chocolate bar. So we change the topic from guns and swords, and we look into different areas, biology, chemistry, and the human body, and anywhere, basically. There are hundreds of great game ideas, great topics for making games. And I made a haiku. So that's all from me. Thank you for listening, and enjoy your evening.